Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about retail displays. If you have a great product perfect for stores and trying to understand retail displays and what you're responsible for when working with retail chains in regards to them, this training will give you some things to think about in regards to retail displays. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about retail displays and how that matters to chain stores. So with retailers, people always ask me, are they going to expect me to display it in a case or a container or like my own standalone thing? Am I paying for that? How does this all work? So let's just walk you through in general how displays work. Generally speaking, people are going to a buyer. They are getting the buyer to look at your product. If the product is small, tiny, needs a container, little counter display, you're responsible for that because you are the one who's trying to put it on a counter. So the little cardboard ones or whatever containment unit you need for that small product, they're going to want you to create that because it's your design elements and so forth. On the one hand, that sounds expensive. On the other hand, your name's on the box. It's cool that you can sell so many units at the same time. Usually there's X number of units you can sell to a particular store. When it's in a little counter display, you have the ability to fit a lot of products in there. So that's for small products. Yes, you are liable for a little counter display. When you deal with, say, displaying it in between store shelves, if you ever gone to a grocery store and they have these clip strips, these little plastic things in between store shelves, that's actually a little display. And that basically means that it's like hanging down. So they usually have 7 to 10 products on a little hanging display. It's in between store shelves. That's technically not in a shelf. So you're liable for the clip strip if you decide to go that route and if the buyer decides to buy that product. Cool thing about little clip strip options are that if it's on a little counter display, that's on a counter and it takes up shelf space. But on a clip strip, it's hanging and it's in between shelves, so she's not taking away anything to add you to that typically. So that's nice in regards to a nice display. It has all your information on it. It's hanging down. Say you're selling straws, it's in between the beverages. It could be very nice. The downfall of a clip strip is when they are liable for putting it up in the correct place, sometimes clip strips get lost. That's a whole other training. Please look at our YouTube channel and or our website for more information there, or join one of our Retail MBA do-it-yourself programs to understand the retail market at retailmba.com. But ultimately, clip strips are another form of a display. You would be liable for that. Now, there's other displays where they're like full floor displays. Have you ever seen that where suddenly one product is on a full floor display? Generally speaking, they're not typically going to give you that whole display unless you're going to help them with that because that's taking away market share everywhere else. Full floor displays sometimes and generally is your responsibility because you're getting a chunk of their store, and millions of people go to their store typically for these chain stores. Maybe not in physical, but online. But the physical display is a big deal. A lot of people walk through. Like Costco, hundreds of thousands of people go to that store in a weekend. It's not the same for other stores, but you get the point. It can be volume. So you're basically being displayed. So full floor displays, a lot of times you're going to be liable for paying for that. But you get a full floor display, and that's a very big deal. And you get your design elements all over it. We have pictures from the past that people put their kids on the display. They do all sorts of cool stuff with it. That's a very exciting thing. The thing about that display is you generally are not going to have to deal with that when you're first selling to a chain store. They're going to see if your product sells for a while before you deal with full floor displays. You're not going to be doing that early on unless they really believe in your product. But most of the time, they're going to test your product even just on a little in their store shelves or whatever it is that you decide to work with. That usually starts out first. Sometimes they have little buckets of stuff like at Home Depot. That's technically a display. That's a half floor display where they have a bunch of products. They call it different things, but essentially they dump a bunch of your products into a little thing. That's a display that you're liable for. Most of the time, new guys, people starting to sell at chain stores don't get that gorgeousness of all those products in a little containment unit there. But one day, if that does happen, you'll be liable for that, meaning that's going to be part of your costs. So those are the different kind of displays I'm going to be talking about today. Generally speaking, most common things are you're just going to put your product in a box or whatever it is based on your product type, and you're going to sell individual products to that store, or if it's really small, you're going to put them in a little counter display, something like that, and or a clip strip, and the big stuff happens later on, and or sometimes you can't display it in various ways. Again, it depends on your product. The essence is you would be responsible for the cost of that when you figure that out. Just remember that they're buying so much quantity of your product, your manufacturer will probably be giving you a big discount because of the fact that you're literally selling to so many stores, and it's very exciting. It gets your pricing down, so don't freak out there. And also, if you do eventually get a full floor display, you're like cool guy and all the other buyers are looking at you from other stores. It's a very exciting thing that could happen to you one day. Anyways, I hope that helped you get a feel for retail displays. It's more to say, but I think that's a good start. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. If you want to learn how to package, price, sell your products to stores, talk to buyers, all the goodies, please go to retailmba.com. We are a retail consultancy, a retail rep agency. We have tons of do-it-yourself content, and we are here to help. Thanks so much.